A very good afternoon to all the audiences and my teacher. So today we're going to present about the compare and contrast of different types of text or media outlets for our course, which is PET103, and that is a course for effective writing for Tesol. These are my teammates, and the first one is Kang Chi. The second one is Kelly. Also, her name is Kalisa, and I'm the third one, Samantha, and Shaslin, and also Huitan, which we call Kelsey. Okay. This is a slight overview on how our presentation is going to be. First off, there's the intro, purpose, audience, language, format, then also the conclusion. So over here, as you can see on what I have presented on the screen, you can see there's like four different aspects, which is audience, language, format, and purpose, that we are going to compare and contrast between the four media outlets: newspaper report, movie review, letter to editor, online blog, and comic. So with that, I conclude my part, and I'm going to pass it on to Kelly, who's going to introduce the similarities and differences of text purposes of the regarding media outlets.
So we will begin by analyzing the purpose of the text given today. So its purpose in writing is their reason or intent in writing a text. For example, it can be to inform, to entertain, to persuade, and to share. So how do we know an author's purpose in writing? So we analyze the language and the sentences that they use, the phrases that they use in the text. So in what we will be analyzing today, I have divided the column into two, which is to inform and to entertain, because these two are the main purpose that the author of these materials are writing for. For example, there is to inform. So I put newspaper report and letter to the editor in this column because both of them have the same purpose, which is to inform of important things and events. And we can see this in the way that the author uses facts and data, statistics to prove of these events that happen, that they are informing of in the text for the audience to read and to be informed. On the other hand, there is the to entertain column, which has movie review, online blog, and comic in it. So how do we know that these three materials are to entertain? Well, because the author in the movie review as well as the comic uses humor in them. The usage of humor is a huge signal that movie review and comic is to entertain the audience, so the audience will be intrigued and interested in reading the text. So, however, the online blog, while it is the same purpose, which is to entertain, we can see that because it is surrounding a heavy topic, the author didn't use any humor in it. But we can know that it is important, it is to entertain because of its use, of the author's use of the narrative voice. And we know that because of the narrative voice, the author is trying to entertain the readers.
Next, I'll be explaining about the audience of different types of text I have analyzed. First of all, the audience of the newspaper report includes general public. They are mostly 9 years old or above, especially the residents who will be affected by the dry weather and southwest monsoon reported in the newspaper report itself. Furthermore, the movie review attracts someone who is interested in animated movies, especially children and parents looking for excellent content for family entertainment. In addition, the letter to the editor targets parents, educators, and mental health professionals for paying attention to mindfulness for the sake of students' well-being. The audience of the online blog is mainly individuals who have experienced or are experiencing depressions, as well as their friends and families who want to understand and support them. Lastly, the audience of the comic involve readers from children with age from 7 to 9 years old who find the content relatable to adults who love nostalgic humor. Next, let's look at the similarity and differences among different types of text. Based on the text samples I have analyzed, the similarity between the newspaper report and the letter to the editor is that they both have readers, well-educated readers who are interested in knowing current affairs and social issues. On the other hand, the online blog and the letter to the editor both attract audiences who are concerned with mental health and well-being issues in our society. For the differences, the movie review is intended for audiences who are seeking evaluative comments or content to decide on their later choices, while the comic itself attracts audiences who are looking for entertainment.
Next, I'll be explaining the aspect of language in writing. Choosing the right language in writing is important as it helps the target audience to reach their reading purpose. For example, someone who reads storybook, they tend to find it as enjoyment. So, the language used in storybook should be simple rather than the use of language in academic writing to help them engage with the story. So, based on the types of text given, I've analyzed the texts that use formal language are newspaper report and letter to editor. Meanwhile, the texts that use informal language are movie review, online blog, and also comic. And I'll be explaining more details in the next slides why they are categorized as using formal language and informal language. One of the features that we can take a look to differentiate whether the text is using informal or formal language is by looking at the use of contractions. For example, when I analyze the types of the text, I've realized that movie review used the word doesn't instead of does not, online blog used the word wasn't instead of was not, and comic used the word that's instead of did, that is. On the other hand, in formal language, the words are written in full form. This is because formal language is often used in professional matters. For example, I've analyzed that newspaper report used the word I have instead of I've, and letter to editor used the word it is instead of it's. Besides, the purpose of the text can also determine whether the text should be written in informal or informal language. For example, movie review, online blog, and also comic, they are purposely to persuade, share, and entertain the public. Thus, an informal language is used to create a friendly environment to the reader. Meanwhile, newspaper report and also letter to editor use formal language because their purpose are to inform or convey important messages. Thus, a formal language is used to make sure that the reader really gets the message of the text. However, despite of having differences in both languages, formal and informal language still have similarities in terms of they use precise vocabulary and adhere to grammar rules in writing.
Alright, good morning, Doctor and my fellow classmates. I'll be presenting about the format, the compare and contrast among newspaper reports, a letter to editors, comics, online blogs, and movie reviews. So first off, we have newspaper reports. So the differences of that makes newspaper reports has a different format from others is actually the inverted pyramid writing format. Okay, so what is inverted pyramid writing format? It is actually the main details at the top, other details such as the location and other supporting details about the topic or article. Then lastly we have the conclusion. The purpose of this inverted pyramid writing style is actually to hook the reader's attention. So newspaper reports is also short and concise, which is to ensure that readers will be able to understand it very quickly. Then secondly, we have a letter to the editors. It is also short and concise. And of course, the different thing about letter to the editors is that they have salutations and details about the sender. Then we have comics. Comics, they are also short and concise, which is same as newspaper reports and letters to the editors. And the different thing about comic is actually largely depends on drawing to express the message to the readers, and there are actually little wording within it, like most of the contents are drawings like we have seen in comics. Then we have the fourth one is the online blogs. Online blogs, they have a wide usage of adjectives and personal viewpoints because it is to express about the author's viewpoint about experiences and their journey. Word length is not limited, and writing style is actually not limited as well. It depends on the author's personal style of writing. Then we also have movie reviews as our last. Length of writing is not limited, so it depends on whether the author wants to write more description about the movie. But all of them, the 5 of them, they have some similarities. There are 2 types of similarities there. The first one is they all start with an eye-catching title, which is very important if you want to hook your readers' attention. Then the images are also allowed because, like we always see in newspaper reports, they have pictures of the topic. Then letters to editors, sometimes we can attach a picture as appendix to show it to the editor, like which place we can be improved. Then comics, of course, we have drawings, and online blogs, of course, like authors, whenever they express themselves, it's best to have pictures as well for readers to understand. Then lastly, movie reviews, they can also include a bit of the the profile picture of the movie. And that is all for my part. Thank you.
Hi, it's me again, and here I would like to conclude our presentation on a short summary that I have based on my own personal POV. So, first off, the purpose of most texts are used to inform or entertain readers, whereas only comics are made specifically to entertain people, but it's also depending on the text itself. Mainly, the audience of all the texts are also dependent on their topic itself, since online blogs it's really free and it's malleable. Any topic would work on it, and it is obvious that formal language is used for newspaper reports and letter to editors, since it is a formal occasion that we have to talk to a general public audience or someone who is higher up than us. And lastly, to conclude this, all of the formats for each text are special in a way that it is built in and integrated to best entertain our readers so they continue on to read for different occasions. Thank you.